Today we have a bit of a spine twist and a liver detox. It's quite an intense squeeze on the abdominals, this pose that we've got today. So you will need to have, you don't have to have anything, but ideally maybe bolsters or blocks or something just to help you a little bit. But if you haven't got anything, don't worry, you don't actually need. I will show you how to do this with and without. So I'm actually going to put that on my right-hand side. If you haven't got anything, you're still going to be working towards the right-hand side. And we're going to do a yin yoga pose called deer pose. And what I really love about this, it is quite intense, but what I do love is you will feel the tissues in your body release really quickly. And that is what I love so much about this. So there's different levels of this position, and it really is going to depend on your knees and your hips and everything. So if you find there's any pain in your knees, sitting on a block to elevate the hips will make that a little bit more tamer on the knee joint. But again, I will give you lots of options. And when I say block, sit on a cushion or something like that. So the basic version is just to have your legs in that position. Okay, see how that feels. So I know for guys sometimes this can be a pretty awkward position because of the shape of their hip bones. The next position is having your legs there. So my back knee is touching the front foot. Or the more intense position, which is the correct position, I don't like to use that term, is the swastikana position, and it looks like a swastika, so it used to be called swastikana. So this front leg, this bottom leg, your right, I'm going to the right, your right leg, I have to remember I'm not mirroring on camera, your right leg, so the knee is in line with this hip bone, your front ankle is in line with the knee, so there should be this 90-degree angle, okay? And you want to make sure that it's in line, so it's not pulling out there. So your back leg, you're going to push it back so that the back knee is in line with the back hip, and the back ankle is in line with the back knee. So if you were looking from above, it would look like a swastika. Okay? From here, now the rest of the movement is the same, so it doesn't matter whether your legs are there, or there. It's just that this one is more intense. It really is going to depend on your hip, the hip structure, tight hips, anything like that. So we're going to start with just adding in a rotation. So what you're trying to do with this is square your shoulders with the mat. Okay, so you can see for me it's just not happening at all, but you will notice how quickly that rotation does start to happen, which is what I love about this. So all we're going to do is hold that position for a few breaths. Now, if you have got cushions, you can either put your hands on there or you can bring your elbows down onto it. Just be mindful that sometimes our ego gets in the way and we want to lie down. When you start to lie down, you actually roll onto that side of the hip, and what you do is you then lengthen the spine and you're going to lose some of the twist that we're trying to work on, okay? So you almost want to think of your left sitting bone, you're trying to keep as close to the floor as you can. I mean, mine's not touching and yours probably is not touching unless you can do the splits. But what you're trying to do is imagine you're trying to keep that as close to the floor as you go deeper and deeper into the pose. So just be mindful that you're not rolling. Shall we get started? So like I said, I'm working to my right side. And we're just going to hold this. And I want you to, don't follow what I'm doing because our bodies will release at different times. You can close your eyes if you want to. I quite like closing my eyes. So just noticing any restriction in your body. Maybe it's coming from, like I can feel mine under here. I can feel it a bit in the back. And as soon as that discomfort starts to ease, see if you can walk your hands a little bit more to the wall behind you, if you have a wall. And we're just going to keep doing that. So what you'll notice is right now it's very hard to breathe. So I want you to really try and direct your air into the body. So it's challenging. And as you exhale, really try and squeeze everything. So you can see I've already gone quite far compared to when I first got into the pose. Now if you want to come onto the elbows, you can. I tend to put a little bit more weight into the back arm. You'll probably find you can breathe more into the left rib cage, and the right side feels quite restrictive. So on the next inhale, just putting that left hand down, really come out of these poses quite slowly. Sometimes, especially that one, I'm like, oh, get stuck. Sometimes people tend to injure themselves more coming out of positions, especially in yoga, than they do when they're in the position. So we always want to take our time. So now we shall do the other side. So bringing that leg round. If you're using equipment or cushions, you can move that. And then the same thing as we did on the other side. But, you know, I don't know your body. Maybe you've had an operation on your knee. On one side, you have to sit differently. And maybe on the other side, you can sit in a different position. So just see what fits your body. Your body's not the same on both sides. So I'm going to go for the swastika one. So that ankle bone is in line with the knee. The knee is in line with the hip. Back foot is in line with the knee, and the knee is in line with that hip again. So again, the first part, you'll probably feel really, really stuck, as you can see. And you will have one side that is just like, oh, this is so tight. But again, as I said before, what I absolutely love about this, you'll see within a minute, it's like, oh, and I can already feel that tissue is giving. So just settle there. So just observing the sensations that you can feel in your body, noticing what feels really stuck, where is the restriction in your body. So when it comes to yin yoga, we work more with the fascia, tendons and ligaments. So it's not about like forcing this. You just want to find the point where it's like, oh yeah, I can feel it there. And then that's where you want to hold it. This is not like other ones where we really try and, I use the term, force our bodies into it. This is why I love yin yoga, especially as you're coming into menopause, and it is so good for the nervous system. And it's kind and it's gentle on the body, but still effective. You will feel it the next day. So you can see how much I'm now already able to rotate. And again, if you want to come onto the elbows, you can. But just be mindful that the hip isn't rolling. So send your right sitting bone down towards the floor. It's not going to touch, but in that direction. And then we just allow the tissues to release in their own time. So breathing into wherever you can, really. You'll probably find the air wants to go more down the right side of your body. But see if you can actually encourage it into the left side as well. And as soon as the sensation decreases, then you can take it a little bit deeper. So again, we don't want to force this and, You might find one side you can go quite far and the other side you can't. So you just meet yourself where you are on each side. It's very normal to have sides that are different. And the next inhale, just put the right hand down. Again, come out of it nice and slowly. I always find when I come back to the front, it's a few creaks, and bringing those legs round. Whew, I always find that one's quite intense in the back. So I hope you enjoyed the deer pose. It is one of my favorites in yin yoga, and also a really good squeeze on those internal organs around the mid parts of the body. So take care, guys, and I'll see you tomorrow. I do hope you are enjoying the challenge so far. So let me know in the comments. Take care.